All right, we'll just say that's close enough to the time I said I'd go on. Hey guys, how y'all doing? It's Crusty Old Crow back in his garage tonight doing a live. Yeah, all the work I'm doing on backgrounds, and I'm not spending any time down there just because I have so much priming I got to do. But I'm gonna have a look at the chat, see who is here waiting for me. I knew Cobra or Crimson Cobra Commando Triple C is so much easier. You're right. You were here. Gaslands is here. Hey, right on, Gaslands. Looks like you were the first one. You win the first one, brag rates. And Son of Crayon Slayer, you're there as well. Yeah, okay. And please, please tell Crow I was here. Okay, yeah, okay. Well, I guess he's probably not here anymore. We're just going to get caught up all in the chat. You guys kept yourselves busy. That's all right. Yeah, there's a good statement to open up on, seeing as we were just talking about all this last night. Let me find my proper hat. I'm taking on the Crow mantle and not the guy painting all day mantle. So, how we all been? Yeah, what a big day last night, eh? For a few guys on the channels, myself included, and Aaron and Three Star. But for some of the guys that had those questions, right? Like, how do we get out there? Sorry if I keep playing with the camera angle, guys. It's just there's things I'm going to show you that I'm going to show you in a controlled way, right? So, uh, Triple C, I watched your videos today, man. Great to see the man behind the camera every now and then, and for sure, good to see you getting out there trying new things. That's the big thing about all this, right, boys? It's pushing those comfort zones that we're used to and saying, well, what else can I get comfortable to that I didn't think I could, right? So we got Ostradamus toys here and friends. Who's friends? Oh, we're all friends. Okay, hi friends. And I got my buddy Loki here. Hey buddy, how you doing, man? So today, guys, I was gonna show you. I was gonna do this clown as a review, and by clown I mean he's a clown to me, not a clown to all of you, and I get that. And this character is interesting. I'll say that much. But of course, I'm talking about Metalhead. Did everybody out there get their copy of Metalhead? Yeah. Did anybody not have this? And while you guys think of whether you do or don't, good to know. We'll get to know you tomorrow, buddy. That's awesome. Obviously, you're going to put in some content, talk about yourself. That's fantastic. That's what we need to do, right? Get to know each other a little bit, and just remember, guys. And this is the rule. Goes the same for me as it goes for everybody else I tell it. And I'm sure that Aaron would agree, and Three Star would agree, and Piunk would agree, and even guys like Iron Ken and to Viper Island to Saturday Morning Toy Collector and Kyle Peterson. Pretty much everybody who does this would agree. We'll move that camera where I'm actually in it. Just because you do put yourself out there and people know about you, don't ever measure that in the response column stuff you get. Okay, don't look to your subscribers to boost just because you put something honest out there. Don't look to the comments to fill up, and don't look to the likes and the views to happen. Okay, that isn't because people didn't appreciate people putting themselves out there. It's because the algorithm hasn't introduced you to the right people. That's all. Australia, I collect mostly the Mythic Legions of Motu and only a handful of Joes. God, I wish I was like you. 1 year ago, as of March 1 year ago, I met the classified line, and I was a hockey card collector for the Toronto Maple Leafs rookies. And before that, I was simultaneously collecting Hot Wheels for a little while. And before that, it was Star Wars Legion, which transitioned out of Warhammer 40K. And I never played Star Wars Legion. I just desperately had to get away from 40K, and Star Wars Legion seemed like the same thing, much cheaper. Since then, 40K and all that be damned, I'd like to see them come back in that Joy Toy. I do think those are interesting, and I do think I might end up buying the odd Joy Toy, especially if they do the Gaunt's Ghosts line of characters for the Austro Imperium. But Classified stole my heart. It's so tied to everything, right? So yeah, I mostly do Classified, but the one thing that changed over a year, my excitement. my excitement turned to more familiarity with the product, right? So I'm still very optimistic. I always try to see the silver lining on these things, but sometimes it's hard, and Metalhead is one of the ones where it's hard, guys. So you got the two metalheads, eh? So you got twice the problem I have with this. Look, there's a reason I did this channel. It's initially called The Tactical Perspective, and it's talking about some of the modernization of what they wanted to do with Joe and what they could have done and what they ended up doing sometimes. And this disclaimer is that I'm fully aware it's a cartoon property, it's comic property, it's a toy for children. It's not meant to be real. I know all that. I know all that. I also know that Hasbro has a consultation team of people who specialize in the military side of it to give them good references. And sometimes I feel like they're not always doing the best to sell a certain point on a character. I know that most military people pick up the same stuff I do on these characters and let them go. But what I see is when a Hasbro design team is paying or seeking counsel from a military professional, if that military professional says you should really do this or not do this, I see sometimes that advice is lost. And it's done so in the name of artistry and characters. I get that. Metalhead was the main thing I liked about the Doc series. I hope they can get them soon. Okay, yeah, you know, on initial glances, guys, and I am going to do a review for you. And I've got a little slideshow, just like when I do them not live. And he does come with a lot of kit we got to talk about. But he's not the only thing I'm going to cover today. I'm going to talk a little bit about that 350 contest in case you hadn't seen the video and don't understand what's going on there. It's all good. We're getting it filtered down to a final 3 through the rest of the backyard crew. So the backyard battlefield group there. And you might be wondering, did he invite them tonight? Are we going to get Aaron and 3-Star in tonight? And I said, no, not tonight. I didn't tell them I was going to hop on live. I didn't ask them if they wanted to. I've been talking to Aaron, asked if he was going to go on live tonight, just to get an idea if the routine was going on. And he said he was too busy tonight and he wouldn't be able to, from what I understand. Now, you know, Aaron, that could change at the flip of a coin and, you know, a deep breath and go, I got time. Let's work on this, right? But I decided, you know, I also wasn't going to ask 3-Star because he's hosting us tomorrow night. And I know he's working really hard on trying to picture how all the content will go. And I don't want to compromise that picture that he has in his head because hosting these things is, that's important. And you should, you know, I want him to put his thought into it. So yeah, his launchers are recoilless, are they? That's interesting. So I disagree completely. Nonetheless, let's talk about scrap iron a little bit, and then guys, I'm going to introduce you to my bomb strike because she's all done, and I'm quite proud of that one. If you guys like Don Marino, I think you're really going to like bomb strike. So we'll just make sure that we got 6 in the chat. So hopefully I've got 6 likes before the end of the night. I don't care if 600 show up throughout, as long as I've got a minimum of 6. Loki, what do you mean you're totally full of shit? Yeah, no, come on, stand by that recoilless argument, please. No, it's all good, buddy. It's all good. Loki, buddy, I miss you. I miss you when you go dark on us, and but I know when Loki's gone dark, it's oh geez, I'm watching myself here. Let me turn the volume down. When Loki goes dark, it's not because he's not wanting to respond to emails or texts or any of that stuff. It means he's got a lot on his plate, and it's a lot of health issues and admin, guys. And I know the only reason I'm bringing it up isn't to put Loki's problems at the forefront. It's to explain that this is the community my page has. It seems that we are all of a certain age group, and we all have a certain life under our belts. Be it one like mine with the military, or one like Gaslands with blue, like hard work all his life, and or you know, Skullfrog was a jumper, or you know, Aaron's he didn't even finish his education, and he's a very successful home genius, like renovator, upgrader, wirer, all of it. And he's the kind of guy that would bet on himself and would win. So that's what he's doing. He's betting on himself and winning. And guys, I cheer for anyone who bet on themselves. That's why I cheer for you guys. That's why I cheer for me. But yeah, I digress. What do we? Let me get quickly in there. Cancer sucks. There we go. Exactly. So that's just thank you for letting me not dance around that anymore. That's what Loki's dealing with at home. And Loki knows that I have all these patience and compassion for that. And the world is very much cancer. Put my family through the same ringer right before I joined the military. It was going through the matriarch of our family. So we were all devastated. I went away to go deal with it. Right. I disappeared. I became someone else to go deal with it because it was an overwhelmingly hard time to watch someone go through those changes. Mine was a brain tumor, right? And there was a shot the operation would fix it, but there was a lot of psychology involved in that, where somebody isn't themselves, but they're themselves, but they're not. Before, after, during the whole treatment, there's just something different about the other person. The person going through it or the person putting up with it. Both people are going through so much. Anyways, that sounds really preachy. I don't want to get on about that. But let's talk about metalhead. Let's change the tone to something cheerful, because I'm gonna only stay on for about an hour. I gotta pick my son up from cadets tonight after this. But as you can see, I'm gonna bring you guys down. Don't worry. But I've got him mostly loaded out. I did so just before the show. Now, I bought this on Fig Thursday, and today is Tuesday. It shows you how busy I've been trying to get stuff done for the 350 contest, which lays in Aaron's hands right now. He's filtering through 11 entries to get it down to 5. Then he's going to hand it off to 3-star. 3-star will hand it off to me. And then this Thursday, I'm going to draw a winner, one way or the other, even if I have to do all this myself. But those guys are really busy, but I know they're trying to help me out. But if it gets to be too much, don't worry, your old crow will adapt. So one thing I've noticed right away, balance issues with this figure are there because of the big honking backpack and everything. So it's almost like I find he needs a stand, or you're going to have to do tack on the shelf. And maybe it's just I didn't find the perfect pose, but I have him in a good pose now. Let's bring you down. Have a look. We will clear some junk off the table in a moment. Let me just find yous. So that's that. Where are you guys? Here, I got to elevate this. That's what I got to do. Lock it. There we go. There he is. And there. Let's get all this stuff out of the way. That's all his extra kit. That's the paint I was going to set forth and do rock and roll with. But as you can see, I got him stripped down right now off to the side really quickly before I show you anything about scrap iron. So my rock and roll V2 will consist of a pair of tunnel rat legs. They're good to go. We'll start painting those tonight. Oh, geez, I just got paint all over my thumb. Nice. Look at that. Good thing I noticed it before I started following the figure for the review. Not that I would care. Let's see. Do I have it on that? I gotta see. Thanks for that there. Sorry, Loki. I was just reading the one before you there about the metalhead and rocket launchers. Yeah. Oh, you guys are working at a little backblast stuff and things, I think, with Loki. Is that right? Yeah, thanks very much. I have been working a lot on the backgrounds. I mean, they are meant to be as amateur as they are. What the background thing is trying to do is, a while ago, I was watching a lot of videos on guys and their collections, and I noticed that some guys don't do displays because they don't feel they have any artistics in them. And when I show my videos about the backgrounds, what I'm trying to show is like, okay, I do have artistics, but the techniques involved are not sometimes about art so much as about cutting out magazines, like you can see with some of these boards, just slapping gray paint over something, just something to break up that background, right? So what I'm doing right now is just kind of working a joint that I primed, and I can see a bit of stick, but that'll get resolved when I put the hair dryer to it anyways. But this is going to be my rock and roll head. and it's a Duke Tiger Force upper body. You guys know how I came across those. And then again, we've got the Tunnel Rat arms. So yeah, another short sleeve for the Duke torso, but just a different short sleeve. And then that's it. That's gonna be rock and roll. So one of the things I want to try and do is work my own arm sleeve ink onto them. I have the ink effect. I have the small enough brush, and I have rock and roll that I can try and hack out and copy the tattoos on his arms already, or I can just make a new batch, right? So, but we're not here about rock and roll. We're here for scrap iron or metalhead and bomb strike. So let's move metalhead right up to the foreground here. Look at this guy, man. I mean, up into his equipment, what I'm looking at is, I said it before, he would blend in well with a 788 or a Crimson Guard themed army for sure because of that red and gray. I do like the arm patches for the Iron Grenadiers. Like, I get that he's Iron Grenadiers. And so what this guy represents actually is my first impressions of what the Iron Grenadiers are going to be. And I see we got Bobby Wald in the chat, or Bobby Wood. How do you say this? Bobby Wood. And Kiwi, G.I. Joe Customs, right on. Thanks very much. Yeah, don't forget to do that. And Gonzo, hey guys. Oh, right on. That chat's filling up with the quality folk that I've come to know. So yeah, guys, just as you're catching up, this is Metalhead number, we'll go there, 118 in the series. He is the Iron Grenadier. He comes in that plastic coffin. Guys, the hype is real on this one as far as getting the shit out of this. I had to break out scissors. I had to use a whiteboard shoot. I had to do trigonometry. I screamed, I yelled, family members cried, and then I got all the rockets out of there. It's a goddamn nightmare. And we got Tony Figs in the chat. Hi, Tony. How you doing, man? Good to see you here, man. You know, it's always great to have a guy like Tony out there kind of watching your stuff. And yeah, I'm watching his, and you know, it's like I learn something every time I watch Tony and guys like him. So it's just, it's good. I love this stuff. But anyways, we're talking about Stuart A. Finley. All right. And I have a theory. I have a working theory on who was inspiring this guy, besides obviously hard rock garage kind of high school friends of the artist. I have a theory that this character was inspired by Bob Probert of the Detroit Red Wings. And I'll tell you why, guys. It's just the way they describe them, and they have this first initial picture of the anti-tank terrorist metalhead right here. You know me, I always go back to a file card. This is the one I found. I don't think this is the only one out there. But my gosh. All right, Gaslands, you're back. Listening to me in the car, are you? That's good. Don't close your eyes when I tell you if you're in the car. So yeah, I think this is based on Bob Probert, who was a famous enforcer for the Detroit Red Wings. You know, if he was on the ice and you were the toughest guy on your team, then you were about to meet Bob Probert, and it wasn't going to go your way every damn time. And I got to know Bob Probert by being a Leafs fan watching Ty Domi, because Ty Domi and Bob Probert were the two biggest names as far as fighters in the NHL back in my high school days. And I can see Metalhead being based on this. Listen to this file card. Primary specialty is tank destruction. Okay, that's an interesting title. We could just say anti-armor and it's the same thing, right? But secondary Cobra specialty, hockey fight analyst. Somebody explain why that has to be a secondary specialty. At least with Big Boa, his boxing meant that he was the unarmed combat training. Like, these guys would eventually find themselves in unarmed combat with Joe one day. That was a known fact. Roadblock proved that every time. So did Quick Kick. So did Spear. But a hockey fight analyst. Cobra needs that professionally. Okay. Anyways, this is when this is at a time where the Joe cards weren't even being taken with any kind of sensibility either. So you notice I'm really pessimistic reading this, right? Because this character just is. I watched JLS Comics explain him today, and I felt no wiser. I see no depth of this character. I see no character in this character. What I see is the lowest hanging fruit of some high school bully that some artist made a rendering of, man. Really, like, I don't think the guy who designed this character liked this character. I really don't. It's so he's a hockey fight analyst born in Annapolis, Maryland. All right, so he's a U.S. boy. He's one of yours, not one of mine. But I'm always giving people the eye, the bullseye. That is, it says right there on the file card. I'm not making this shit up. Metalhead is a walking anti-tank weapon! Exclamation mark. Well, he's tank destruction. You use anti-tank weapon here, but not up there. Okay, fine. He uses the brain integrated targeting site implanted into his left eye to get a fix on GI Joe tank positions. His anti-tank rocket launcher then senses the target through his bioprocessors in the handle and locks onto it like a cheetah about to pounce on a gazelle. All Metalhead has to do is yell "fire!" and the rocket blasts off with destructive accuracy. Metalhead also enjoys skiing with the jet set on the slopes of the New Hampshire, where he is known for cutting off other skiers, shooting at chairlifts, and just being plain mean. He's a suspected member of the secretive Susugar martial arts clan and is obviously one guy you never want to see eye to eye. Okay, before I get into the deep dive, because really this is a tactical perspective live, guys. Sorry, but it is. My camera's just sliding all over the place right now. Let's just stick with what I just read, and I'm going to pick the holes in this in a fun way, guys. I'm just going to tell you why this. Like I said, my theory is the guy was designed off of Bob Probert and the high school bully that the designer just never settled his hash with. I think. Okay, there. This camera thing's pissing me off. Metalhead is a walking anti-tank weapon, no problems. He uses the brain-integrated targeting site implanted into his left eye to get a fix on Joe. And so after that, it all becomes a wiring system. So he's got this implant in his left eye. And once it catches sight, it'll lock onto a target. That'll connect with him in his trigger hand, right? It says his anti-tank rocket launcher then senses the target through bioprocessors in the handle, which means the bioprocessors have to have contact with his hand. Okay? They must be worked into the gloves because he's wearing gloves. That's fine. I can accept all that tech. And then locks onto a cheetah, and all he has to do is yell "fire." Now, this is some Marvel what if bullshit right here. If you ever saw this episode of Marvel What If, which was right before I lost my Disney Plus because I didn't renew it or do anything with it, I just wasn't watching enough. This is where Happy Hogan had his hand on a Stark repulsor after the zombies were taking over the earth, and it was like a Dawn of the Dead kind of Marvel thing, right? And in order to use it, you had to go "fire, fire, fire." And I never understood where that came from. Never did. And now I do. Now I do. I think the guys over at Marvel Studios gave a nod to Metalhead yelling "fire, fire, fire," because I don't know where else that would have come from. Stark never says fire to his suit. Hogan would have never have seen it. I think it was a nod to Metalhead. And like I said, to yell "fire, fire, fire." Okay, well, how much brain processor and neuroprocessor is needed to make this all happen? Can't he blink his eye? Isn't there something else he can do? Why does he have to verbalize the command if everything else is so advanced at this point, right? Why can't it be a pressure switch in his glove? Yeah. You think it was Beavis and Butthead? Yeah, Beavis and Butthead yelled "fire" too, but that was more like "fire, fire, 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 fire," right? Happy was, pardon me, he was normal when he first did it. He was like "fire, fire, oh man, fire," and then when he turned into a zombie, it turned into "fire, fire, fire." Replacing the word brains, clearly, right? So I thought that was funny, but yeah. So going back to that file card, okay, so what I'm getting at is if he's got all this tech that lances him, then he is going to be a junk shot. He really is. Okay, one of the things they teach you is eye dependence and eye dominance. You never, like in gunnery overall, and in shooting, and in night operations, and in, shooting at targets. You have your dominant eye, you have your night eye, you have all this. To have a piece of tech suddenly replace your own natural ability to alter your focus, perspective change, your pinpoint focus, and to rely on your instinct works on your own, eye to reaction. Yeah, okay, man, come on. You've just robbed this guy of all of that. So right away, I'm thinking the biggest way to take him out is to just hit him with an EMP, or like knock his eyes out. Just blind him. Then, well, blind him works on everybody, sure, but I mean, like, when it comes to that left eye, it's his biggest vulnerability. It'll end his career till he gets better attack, right? So I think it's a ridiculous premise, but where my theory about him not liking this guy when he was making him is what he throws into it, right? It's this added character description that really has nothing to do with him fighting Joes or let's see. What's this? In the Deke series, there was an episode where Cobra Commander tried recruiting kindergartners, and one kid was smart enough to activate Metalhead's missiles by saying range firing bang bang. Yep. Yeah. Yep. And no, I picked up on that too. And it's, again, did this character designer build this off the bully in a high school because he had a grudge? And I think we found the grudge. You got to remember, in the 80s, right? When was Metalhead made? He was made later in the 80s or the 90s, I think. He was Iron Grenadiers, right? So it was post 88 into 89, 90, 91, somewhere in there, right? Read up looking, yeah. So, hey, Damon, how you doing, buddy? We're just talking about Metalhead. What a phenomenal guy. So I think what happened was the creator had a bad high school ski trip with this guy, a bad high school party life experience with this guy. I think this guy was probably the nerd, the quiet guy that watched the bully get the girl, get all the fun, and make his life a living hell in high school. And when he finished off being the awkward teenager he was, he became a very successful artist like he should have been. He did well, and he designed a character called Metalhead for this series called G.I. Joe, and he made him this big dumb bully with a very stupid weapon system. Sorry, guys. It is. Hi, Turkish Murphy. And he writes, Metalhead also enjoys skiing with the jet set on the slopes of New Hampshire, which is probably where he took his class field trip with the bully, where he is known for cutting off other skiers. That really hurt, man. Shooting at chairlifts with ice balls and being just plain mean. Knocked over my tree at lunch and I didn't have any more money to buy fries and gravy. It was a bullshit fucking trip. All right, so he's a suspected member of the Susugar martial arts clan and is obviously one of the guys you never want to see. Okay, well, we're talking about this guy being too stupid in the cartoon and dumb, and he's a skid of a person. He's a dirtbag. How is he disciplined enough to master a martial art? Okay, this is what I'm getting at. The creators did not give a crap about Metalhead, right? They didn't. They couldn't have when they initially designed him. I'm sure the Hasbro creators give a crap about him now, but I don't think they did when they made this guy. I really don't. I don't think there was a whole lot going on for Metalhead at the time. I think Deke didn't do anything from what I've heard. And so now I'm going to talk about the figure itself. And this figure, right away, I'm going to tell you, I'm taking these shit things off, okay? These hoses have been pissing me off since I put them on 2 hours ago, and I'm dropping them. Now you're seeing an angry crow because I've seen it done so much better on other figures when it comes to the hose attachment, kind of things that have to clip into each other, plug and plays. These hoses are just a novelty we don't need for a fictitious rocket system that works off bio, pulse, and neuroengineering. Yeah, Damon, thank you. Yep. Yeah, I need an echo chamber here. You guys, if you like them, hey guys, it's fine. Like, that's fine. I like characters that a lot of people don't like too, right? And if you like Metalhead for some other redeeming reasons, you fight in those comments. You put them down. I might bring them on screen. I might not. Right. But this guy, to me, like I said, like Damon said, no thought put into this guy. That's why I think he was the high school bully of the designer. And Hasbro has made an attempt to salvage what I think is one of the worst thought out characters ballistically they could have thought of. These rockets, recoilless rockets. Yeah. I hate those hoses too, eh? Yeah, the recoilless rockets, Loki said. But yeah, he's joking. They're not recoilless. There's no recuperator system on there, okay, to buff anything. There's stamped metal to allow all the exhaust and the backblast to go out. We're gonna have a little chat about that in a second. I'm gonna show you something. Um, there's no stability to any of this. Whatever he's firing, these have to be like heat seeking, laser guided tow. Like, doesn't matter how they launch. Eventually, they'll twing, calibrate, and hone in on the target. But just the amount of wear and warp on such a loose bracket system, such a flimsy system, these wouldn't make it past an industrial standard safety testing. It doesn't matter if they'd be made of adamantium, they would rip all the circuitry that made them fire clean out. Yeah, it is a junk system, and that's all I'll say about the top brackets. The hip brackets are no better. Okay, the hip brackets, to me, are a femoral artery smashing, wrenching, ripping device. Yes, there we go. This is what it is too. Gridiron will fix it. Isn't that just the truth of it? When it comes down to it, we have choices with our toys, right? We don't have to accept them the way we are. We can do one of multiple things. We cannot buy it, not talk about it, right? Which, I'm not going to do. I'm going to buy it and talk about it. You could buy it and wait and see. Maybe things change. You could do a conversion with it, or you could gridiron it, or you could see Loki Wartooth to do the conversions and maybe do both gridiron and Loki Wartooth and claim that you've defeated Hasbro once and for all and showed them how easy the game can be. I don't know. But this is about the best I can make him look right now. And those ball joint hip mounted rocket launchers are leaving. I am tired of looking at them. I understand it's hey, 3-star going on. That's right on. Glad you can make by. More like self-destructive, and when the rockets burn him too. Okay, both great points, both right. Correct. Yes. All right. One of the biggest differences you see between him and the guy I keep getting tongue-tied and comparing him to by accident, Scrap Iron. I wish I had thought to bring Scrap Iron out with me today, but I hadn't. Scrap Iron is wearing like fire retardant pants. He is wearing a lot of up armor because he's standing somewhere that could be near the backblast of his drone, right? So what ends up happening is, you get flash burn, you get heat, you get shockwave, all these things that can blow debris into you and fire, spark, all that other stuff, rocks, whatever. You need protection from that. So that's why we say keep the backblast clear, right? Backblast clear. You have to hear that before you squeeze that trigger. And I've got some slides for you that talk about it. You have to do that, right? And you have to protect your own body with it, right? So considering this guy is actually wearing the friggin' rocket launchers, I don't give a rat's ass. Where did I put the accessories? Danger close, and I've got pictures being sent to me while I'm doing a live. Unfortunately, this is the same phone I'm getting it on. So if you're watching my live, can we hold up on the pictures for a little bit? I appreciate them, but it's I can't deal with them when I'm on my phone because I'm filming on my phone. Okay, so we got this off. All right, listen. Does this look like it's a very hearing friendly helmet? This looks like a Roman gladiator styled punk rock Mad Max. Give us the oil. Give us the oil and leave. That kind of helmet. It's ridiculously almost samurai. My point is, I don't see anything saving his hearing from his rockets going off next to him with that head. And I don't think his other sweet flow hockey hair, his Bob Probert hair, is going to it's going to make any difference. Yeah, look, I use iPad for my messenger and whatnot, but my texts are all to here. Oh, that was you sending. Yeah, no worries, buddy. But my phone is what I record on and what I do my camera on and everything like that. My tablet is right here on my lap. To show you some of these different slides I was going to talk about. So backblast. All right, guys. That's just a simple 84 millimeter rocket launcher or 81, whichever. I'm not sure which the Americans what used. We used the Carl Gustav, and that was ours. But you guys have something similar, if not the same. Anyways, the point being is everything you fire has a back blast area that is just a cone of shock, heat, pressure, and bad day. Really bad day. Concussive force. Here is, I can't put the video on there. It's too sensitive. It gives you that big warning sensitive to viewers. But here's some professional guerrilla fighters in a country where you know these guys are winning. And yeah, this is what happens when you don't check your back blast. Oh, nope, that's not it. Back blast clear? Nope. And now this guy's dead, probably, because he took that right to the back of his head. Right. In fact, I don't actually see a head. I see a helmet or something. But no, I don't see. No, I don't see a head. I don't think he's decapitated. He's rolling away because the pressure wave probably shocked his vertebrae so bad and sent such a snap up his cerebral cortex. Man, feel bad for that guy, and he's the enemy. But you know who I feel bad for? Here's your crow moment. Yep, that'll mess up your afternoon. And yeah, I know he does secretly want to be a dreadnought. Eh? He's got the Cold Slither logo written on his chest thing or his neck piece there. I'm sorry to get a better shot. But yeah, there's the Cold Slither logo on there. But yeah, no, let's talk about one of your favorite movies. Yeah, it is shit Cobra would do, even though they have a better backpack for their 788 Trooper for a rocket launcher because it's got straps. It can actually hold a backpack. But Rambo 2. We all remember Rambo, or maybe you're too young to remember Rambo, but most of us remember Rambo 2. And there's that scene where they're chasing him down, and he's in the UE with the American POWs. You know, they're chasing him, and they've been shooting at him this whole time. And of course, it's Rambo flying the chopper, right? In the back, he's got his buddies, his POWs that he's just rescued from prison. Oh, they're gonna make it, but no, the evil bad guy is coming after him with a hind, right? Like or a hind variant, and they've been blasting away at him. But eventually, he has to play limp dog, you know. And this is oh man, I wanted to do this in Afghanistan so much, was just do every movie finishing move we could, right? My buddy Ed did the Bugs Bunny, put the helmet on the end of the spare barrel when his tank was being shot at by useless gunfire, like small arms. He did the little Bugs Bunny thing, and then they were able to use their sights and find the guy shooting at him and track him. But I always thought about this Rambo lame dog, the lame dog. So what happens is he takes enough bullets in there that he starts popping smoke. So, you know, flying through blast clouds and whatnot, and overrunning your engine will do that. So he eventually lands in the river, and he's exposed, and the bad guy's got him, right? He's like, hey, fuck you, Rambo, I got you. And Rambo's pretending to be out cold there because, you know, from windscreen to windscreen, I can see that his eyes is closed. It's important. I know he's out cold. He's no threat. Now I know I'm winning, right? And so the hind chopper closes in. He's got him dead to rights, right? He's like, yes, only one sequel, Rambo. Nobody's going to remember you when we're done. And Rambo says, surprise, cocktag, boom. And he just takes this thing out with a single shot M72, which is a medium armor effective weapon. It took no time to aim it. Punched a hole through the windshield that wasn't there before, just shakoink, fuck you now, and blows this thing up, right? And then has the audacity to look back and, you know, be like, hey guys, I got the chopper, you guys okay? And they're like, fuck you, Rambo. Because the back blast, guys, it's a back blast, all right? He's just hovering past out in a copter. Yep. So the back blast for this guy, here's some army for you. There's some basic templating of what a back blast radius is, and that's done in meters, guys. So 100 meters on a pretty wide 80-foot fan radius is basically where you can expect to have a piece of gravel launched at you like it's been fired out a slingshot, because the concussion effect has picked it not only up off the ground, but swept it up on this arc, this ridiculous arc. It's just following a wind flow that is ricocheting off the path of least resistance, right? So you got that. You've got That's just for an AT4, an anti-tank weapon, right? Like our good buddy. It's just hanging off his shoulder. Don't worry about it. Then you have one. Which one's this for? The TOW, right? The wire-guided missiles that they use to definitely take out a tank. There you go. There's the back blast and side concussive areas. You also got to realize the proper hearing protection when a rocket goes off, if you are right next to the tube, and I know this because I almost lost my hearing for it, there is a concussive sound that goes off. I have two good stories. I'll tell them at separate times that can burst your eardrums, right? Like it's just wow, right? The new rocket launchers have a mist and can be fired indoors. I would want to see a link to a video that demonstrates that, because while it sounds ridiculous, I can kind of see a premise behind it that might not be, but I've just never heard of it. That's all. And that's fine, guys. I've been out of the Army for a couple of years. In my last few years, I was the ops warrant for a base in Ontario, just booking ranges and taking care of admin. So let's have a look. Yeah, AT4 is a hell of a bang. There you go. So with the TOW back blast, okay, then we're looking at 20, 75 to 100 meters as you're going out with another 90-degree zone. And then you just have your safe areas right between basically the front and the back of the gun. You have that safe area, but you need that reverb protection, right? So Legend Series has just joined us. That's awesome. And then it wouldn't be a really good one if you didn't have at least one colorful one for the law, right? So your light anti-armor weapon, the one you would use against a Jeep or a technical pickup truck, like Aaron's Chevy 3-star. That's what you'd use. You'd use a law against the Chevy Silverado. That would be a great commercial. Chevy Silverado. 3 out of 4 laws didn't make it through. All right, so we got Legend Series up here. This is turning into a party. 14 in the chat. Hopefully I have at least 6 in the like column. See, guys, I don't change my standard. I said that's all I need tonight, 6 likes. Okay, I won't change that. So all joking aside, let's talk about the actual figure. I do like the fact that it came with 3 different head choice pieces. Like, that's fine. If you're going to make me a character based off someone that clearly had some questionable design principles going for them, at least make them a bit more interactive and give me some play factor. You know, the design that they did for the face, what do we got on the go? We got a teardrop of some sort. I would need to get my trifocal old man glasses, but it appears to be an eye drop tattoo on his eye. I'm gonna get that up for you and get you in the camera. So he does have an eye tat, right? And yeah, the hockey fight Bob Probert thing. I'm just thinking about back in the era, and it's just my theory about the bully is more accurate, I think. But the Bob Probert inspiration, I think, is why we get the fighting thing. And it's just a theory because, guys, Hasbro being in what Pawtucket, or yeah, it's in Pawtucket, isn't it? Right. Something like that. And you know, the eastern side of the states, Detroit Red Wings has a huge fan base across the east. I know that. And Bob Probert was a brawler, right? I got it seeing that for the hockey analyst secondary. Why ever Cobra would need that. But the articulation, it's actually not bad for a guy that's got a lot of heavy armament and everything like that. What you get is a actual vest that doesn't really encumber a whole lot. You can even get a little bit of an ab crunch out of that, which is way different than what you were getting with Viper vests, right? Nally Vipers, like just 0 ab crunch because the thing's so thick in the middle, right? Like Nicki Minaj, thick in the middle. Or no, she's thick in the bottom. No, who's thick in the middle? Roseanne Barr. There you go. Same sentence. 2. Same sides of a different coin. Roseanne Barr, Nicki Minaj. There you go, guys. On the back, you've got a very neat technical rig for the backpack to mount in. And I do like the fact that what they did is they did a 3-point mounting system as opposed to a single pin. You could see with a single pin, it would sway and pivot, and you would be watching it go like this on the shelf. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry. Everything's fine. I'm not going to fall. I'm not going to... Right? Like, that's how it is with all of our really questionable balance figures on our shelf. Everything's fine till all of a sudden it fucking isn't, right? So the vest I actually do like, and I like the way that blade side sheaths in. I have it in his hand because it's one of the few pieces of kit I like that he comes with. There you go. Little side sheath. There you go, action. That's a lot better than trying to put it upwards. Like Grunt and a few others there. The guys who have their sheath right up here, guys, no, thanks. They wanted us to wear our scabbard for our bayonets right here, right? So when we're in the prone position, we're lying on this fucking knife. We're like, fuck that, no. Slide it over. And they're like, no, put it back on. It's supposed to be here. So when you draw your bayonet, you're like, shing, what, right? And you're like, yeah. And then when I put it back, I go, oh, fuck, right? You know, so anything upward motion towards your face is stupid. Okay. Nobody needs that kind of fast access to your kit. If your kit isn't within reach, within this little proximity called arm's distance, and you can't get at it, guess what? That problem is you, not your kit. Don't need these. Okay. The rest of the figure, I actually like the design of the figure. I wish he was somebody that had been cared about more in its initial design, as I see it. Like I said, guys, that's an opinion. Just because, like I said, he's got that colors appeal that would kind of go with almost anything in the Cobra lineup right now. Be it Iron Grenadiers, obviously, but even the Crimson Guard or the 788. Yeah, he fits in well. He could even stand beside Scrap Iron and look at home if it weren't for the fact that Scrap Iron is wearing better blast-proof pants. There we go. Hey, Woody, what's up, buddy? Can't wait to see that Ram, man. And Metalhead. PSA, Walmart has $12 in-store McFarlane pigs this season. Extra. McFarlane pigs now $12. Just like they were back in 1999. No, the McFarlane figs are worth $12. Finally, they're selling for what they were. Look, I love McFarlane figs for the most part. I think he makes some really great figs, but he pumps out a lot of characters no one cares about too, right? Like it's an all or not. It's all for him, not all or nothing, just all. Do I think he's worth the pickup, guys? No. Sorry, I just don't. He is a deluxe figure for one thing. So he's on in Canada. I paid what, 42 something, 42 with my GameStop membership. So closer to the $50 mark, in the same price bracket as the glorious 60th anniversary soldiers that I am a fan of because I'm a soldier, right? I know a lot of people aren't, but I'm a fan of these. Same price bracket. I would have rather actually spent that money for a second one of these or the Recon Diver, right? But I'm running a show. I realize that I can't be a hypocrite. Get them in your hands, have a look, right? And I did say I would buy him, even though I wasn't a fan of him, because at worst he would look good next to my 788 and be fine. And I don't have to put those silly little rockets into the launcher to show him flying through the background or anything like that. There was a place for him enough that I would buy him. And it was between that, the Techno Viper, and Big Boa. And now I'm kind of wishing I'd done Big Boa, but it is what it is. Woody likes it. You know, other people like it, and that's fine. He's a kind of cool thing. It's the M782 by Namo. Okay. I didn't get him. Yeah, and guys, like I said, I am not trying to mock anybody for liking him. I tell you what, I will trade you my Metalhead for any of those 60th anniversary Loki. McFarlane has put much out. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Everybody's kind of like, whoa, what'd you do? He did. Well, this soldier, guys, has so many different configurations. None of those four soldiers look the same. I promise you, right? And there's so much extra kit going for this. How are these not good squad builders? How are you not, if you have a 3D printed head that's a really good one, like Frank Castle perhaps, or somebody, not wanting to put them on there? Like, these are the beautiful gateway that Steel Core should have been. That's how I see it anyways. But yeah, I don't blame Loki for buying them. I was 9. Yeah, Woody, you were 9 when it came out. There you go, right? So I've talked about that the channel, right? My issue with this guy isn't really this guy. It's not really the action figure. It's not really my joke about the guy making a figure out of his bully. Um, my issue is that I grew out of the series by the time this guy came out. I went through the better stages of puberty, as we call it, where you got a girlfriend and your girlfriend wanted to know that you were into a certain type of music, you dressed a certain way, you smoked cigarettes, or you stole mom's car, you stole her mom's car, yes, and you touch boobs. The odds of that happening were going down by me saying, "But did you see my new metalhead? Come here, let me touch that boob." But if I had been 9, this would have been my Duke, right? This would have been my Cobra Commander. This would have been my icon, because none of the back catalog was available to these guys when they were just learning about the line and this was out. You couldn't go back and just get first edition Duke or Flint or Scarlet. You had to get whatever the repaints were. Repaints? Oh my God, they happened in the 80s too. Oh God, yeah. Repaints, reparts, retools. Like I've said it a couple of times back when the channel had probably half the amount of subscribers. Thanks again, guys, for getting me past that 350 mark. I really appreciate it. I'm going to talk a little bit about it when I talk about something else here. But what was I'll talk about. Sorry, I just noticed I'm missing one thing here. Yeah. Okay. No, I do have them all. Sorry, I thought I was missing a rocket. I was like, oh, good. I don't even have to review the rockets. I lost my train of thought a little bit there, but the bottom line is, guys, my problem is I grew out of this line, and so I'm kind of like not loving all this stuff, but I can see that this is something we have to get used to as the older guys. And that was it. I'm not going to be hypocritical and say, only my line's good and all line after that is terrible. That's just my optic way of looking at it, and I always value trying to have that different perspective on it. The play factor for this exists, guys. Hey, same time toys, what's up, Shane? What's going on, man? Saw your 40K video today on your Ultramarines. Yeah, never did Ultramarines. I did Space Wolves for a little while. I had a buddy that had a big Ultramarine army. I saw the appeal. What I didn't see was challenge. I just saw access. But, that was just an opinion from a guy who never played them. So Loki's talking to you here, Shane. So you need a Don Johnson, do you? And Loki, I told Shane, with the Don Johnson has to come the notorious sidekick, right? We got to work him into the line. There are a lot of redeeming qualities to this figure. He is well constructed. The only criticism I have, where I think the construction made a bad decision, and I'd be like, Lenny, coffee, let's go. I want to know why. I need to know why. Okay. It's the lower rocket systems and the hose dependency with the ball joints. Hear me out. You made sure that this thing was 3-pegged so that you wouldn't have the shelf sway, fuck up your day issue with this backpack. And that was forward thinking and well done, because the weapons that it has would obviously, shift if the peg was weak, if it was a singular peg, right? Legend Series saying hi to everybody. And so I can get behind that. But now you have these downward facing hoses, which means they're gravity pull. Notice my middle finger is the one doing it. Gravity pull out these holes. Okay. And when you have a gravity pull, it means any movement has that extra effect of gravity working against it to help flick it out that hole. So if you were going to do a hose, I would almost say, why didn't you do the side hose like you did with the air hoses on the eel and the eel and all the air hoses for the aqua troops, I would say, to take the gravity pull off the hoses port. That's one thing I would have said. Another thing I would have said is ditch the friggin' hoses, but okay. All right. Just remember, guys, if you like the hoses, you paid for them too, right? Something else we could have had on this figure, I don't know what, but something else came at the cost of the hoses, right? But the other part of it is this ball joint that's incorporated into the actual leg. right? So it's not an attachment. It is a pumped on piece. And is mine bent or is it just, no, I think they're put on at an angle. You can see that they are worked into the leg. And I don't love that idea. I don't understand why, or is it? Is it worked into the leg? 3-star. I thought we said that this was worked into the leg. Or is it worked into the secondary skin? The secondary feature. I'm curious. I'm going to put a pin in that one, actually. And that wasn't me putting the blame on 3-star. What it was, I asked 3-star. I said, are those in the leg? And I think he said, I think so. But they might also just be on those very tight second layer soft sheets mounted on that, which is what they kind of feel like they are, which is fine. If I can get these off, I'm getting them off. Don't take that the wrong way. You couldn't get laid or else with a $20 bill hanging into your mouth, man. There's no. Anyways, it's a terrible figure overall in my eyes as far as the ballistic design, but as far as the actual colors and character costume and reflection of the Deke character and all that, it's good. It's a good reflection of them for sure. The face sculpts are nice. I like having that face sculpt and then having, like I said, 2 different hair sculpts and then the god damn, I hate that helmet. I'm sorry guys, I'm trying, but I hate this figure. I really do. I really do. That just happened. That, yeah, okay, that's fine. It didn't break. It just fell apart. And that's fine. But my passion for this figure does not exist. He is straight out of my worst nightmares of the 90s comic scene too. Like there was this, at the same time as the grunge era came the Lee Field McFarlane era in comics, and a lot of heavy metal looking like characters came out like this in comics, and I remember them. They were poorly written, poorly constructed, flash in the pan characters, and that's exactly what this feels like. This feels like a Marvel C-list villain that Spider-Man kicked the shit out of and we forgot about years ago. But on a play factor, you know what else I think about? Who's seen the movie Orgasmo? That's what I thought about when I was pulling these out. Hey, what's up, brother? Backyard Battlefield Brothers are here in the chat. I've confined you to the chat for tonight because I do have to go in a little bit. Let me check that time. 8:06, so I got some time. Yeah, man, this totally reminds me of Orgasmo and his sidekick, Joda Boy, right? Dick Rockets. Like, hey, it's not swearing. He fired them in a Dick cartoon, did he not? Is it Deke? Deke Rockets? Fire the Deke Rockets! Fire! Fire Deke! He should have had to say the full rocket type. Fire Dick Rocket. Yeah, and Orgasmo Ray, right? And then there was the first timers rockets. Oh. And then to make sure that I didn't drop that, after the first timer rocket came the pro rocket. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's play factor with Scrap Iron. I'm just not sure what kind of play it is, but it's certainly not being a threat to Joe. This guy is less of a threat to Joe than Bazooka being held responsible for watching the front gate. Man, he's a no threat. His rockets are going to fire wildly. He's going to get one shot out of each tube. He doesn't carry reloads. He is going to have 2 really fucked up legs. His ears are going to be burst. His cybernetic eye is going to go home and have champagne and celebrate how cool it is. And the people that made the tech, or Mars after they remade the tech, they're going to celebrate great engineering if they even came close to the target because the guy lived. Right, but ballistically, this guy is a pancake, man. He's nothing. Looks good with 488. Might keep him just very humbly standing in the background. 788, and leave it at that. So there's your review. So let's give him my grade, guys. While you guys do business with Loki on the side, Aaron, we need to come up with a word as the Backyard Battlefield group where it says we acknowledge all the amazing people in the chat, but our eyes are 40 plus, and maybe we don't have our glasses, and our thumbs are as coordinated as friggin' lawn darts, and we can't type very good without autocorrect getting in the way. Maybe we just need an all-encompassing "What's up, chat?" and say it a certain way so that everybody knows we're talking exactly to them rather than typing their names. Yeah, his back is going to be messed up too. Oh yeah, this guy's going to need like physiotherapy. Probably that's the next big character. I don't need a part-time Cobra hockey fight analyst. Okay, that is his secondary titled profession, for hockey fight analyst for Cobra, whatever that is. I don't need that. We need a Cobra physiotherapist. Okay, I know that they have a health plan. I saw the episode where they saw the files in the death. They're like, Cobra has a health plan? I was like, well, okay, well then they need a physiotherapist, right? So, and there's their number one candidate right there. The weapons loadout he came with, guys, it's the same deal as with the Snow Serpent and the Valkyrie set. The only difference being is this time they actually gave him a place to put the knife that they pulled out of the Valkyrie set, as opposed to what they did with the Snow Serpent, which was give you the knife and know where to put it. And people still complained about free kit. That's so Army. That's what we do too. What's this? What's this shitty piece of kit you're giving me? Oh, vest. Why would I want this? Fucking bullshit. It was free. Canada, we didn't pay for a kit. In the America, you have a kit allowance. We have a different way of doing that. But man, people complain about anything, right? So while I put this away, like I said, I'm just showing you that's the same. It's like a futuristic forward grip on a M4, M16 stylized upper and lower receiver, but it's got something futuristic going on with that rail and the underslung M203 type grenade launcher under there. And then we have our very traditional Cobra, almost German stormtrooper looking pistol, auto pistol, 9mm type. And that knife I talked about. All right. On a play grade, I'm going to give this thing a fair grade. I'm going to pretend like I'm a 9-year-old boy that's never ever fired a gun before. Little baby Jesus laying in his crib. Never seen a miracle before. And I give this action figure and I said, oh, look at this. And he's got all his little cool missiles. And I don't know which way is forward and which way is backwards, but I know that these dick guns, they don't mount inside there without the blast. So he's always firing. That's another problem. He can't not be firing. Always be firing, because otherwise the missiles don't go in there and you're just going to lose them. So you might as well lock them away. Always be firing. And little baby Ryan looks at it and says, it's colorful and it's sharp. It's cutting me. It's cutting me. I take off that helmet and I say, I'll put on this little head. I'll put on this little hat. I say, oh, I look like daddy. Hello, daddy. Hello, daddy. And it fall off. I'm like, daddy gone again. No, daddy gone again. And then I put on his little MTV face. And I feel better because TV's my babysitter and he looked like somebody on TV. Yeah, I can see some appeal. Play grade B+. Tat grade. What's less than a C minus? Oh, right. I went to the number grade. Play grade's going to be a 4. You get a lot going on with those rocket launchers, different play things and everything like that, different heads. But the TAC grade, guys, I'm sorry. I got to go right to the lowest grade. I'm giving it a point, a 1. I'm giving it a 1 on attack grade. In that, one, they blame the computer for everything. It's a computer integrated chip in his head and the eye. He uses biometrics to fire, but he still has to say fire for some reason. And then they gave him some common guns. And I'm actually giving him the attack grade to give him some common guns, because once those things go off, maybe he can kill himself, right, with one of those guns. But the rest of it, yeah, it's the lowest grade I've given a figure. But as far as the attack goes, because it's so far past jumping the shark, it's now, yeah, it's jumping whales. It's all the other things, right? But as far as the creativity goes, that's where I got to give it some stuff, right? Like, it wasn't a well thought out character in how he was written. I don't think I was a big fan of that original 3 3/4 versions that I saw of it. When I did my reviews of the 80s line, he did not impress, but I recognized the name. But what Lenny and the did team, or what what Lenny did to that team, Oh, can you? You can trim them. Okay, well, trimming them's different. Now you're making a commitment, right? Trimming the missiles, trimming shit to play with it, right? But yeah, thanks, buddy. Destro won't like you messing with his boy. Well, I mean, like, yeah, Destro, we mess with a lot of your stuff. I mean, on a creativity, what Lenny and them did with this team and this play style feature weapon, as much as I'm slamming this, that's from the loss of innocence of a child. That's from the skewed perspective of a combat vet who's going to just sit there and go, guns are toys, while he plays with his gun toys and do stupid hypocritical shit like that. I can look at this from an artist perspective and I can appreciate the designs they brought to the table. And you know what? Throw science, throw ballistics, throw all that to the wind. If you want to make something fun, just make something fun. I'm all for that. You know, I'll talk harshly about it, but it's just I wanted to like this character and I couldn't. I really couldn't, guys. It's a lot of it had to do with the hoses and that. But as far as the artistry of this character, I would give it a solid 4. Solid 4. It's better than average, actually. I think when you make something that somebody can sit there and say, well, the character looks good. And originally those other characters before looked terrible. And it's got so many other flawed principles, such as its origins, its portrayal of its character type, its ballistic, like its equipment. To be able to say that the character sits at a 4 out of 5 as far as the creativity and everything go in there, that speaks to the team. I just don't think this character should have come out. Not right now. I really don't. I think that they needed to maybe try to work a new rocket system in or some sort of new weapon system into the comics and give you a variant of him and then take a retro version of Scrap Iron and put him in the retro line at some point. Because with the retro, at least you can sit there and say, well, that was the old crazy design, right? But to try and modernize that same old crazy design and make those same principles still be a problem, I would have held off. I don't know. But they did it. I bought it, right? Now I've had it in my hand. I can see some silver linings to it, but unfortunately I confirmed my suspicions. I'm not excited about Iron Grenadier characters right now. I'm just not. Destro's cool. I don't know. I don't want to see Voltaire. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see Dark Lawn or any of the others. There you go. So what's going on in the chat? Let me just get quickly caught up. You guys are working out. Bang, bang. Yeah. Bang, bang, bang. Aaron saying hi to everybody. Good. I don't think I missed anything. 9 p.m. That's for, I think he's talking about tomorrow night. Yep, 9 p.m. in ours. We're going to do that thing. So, hey, guys, you want to see Bomb Strike? I finished up Bomb Strike today. And I got the extra sidecar out for the Ram because I'm going to start doing a special sidecar just for her Ram that I'm thinking might be a cargo car that hauls some serve gear and maybe a drone if I can find the right parts to make a little fold-away drone like she had back in the day. Because anybody have Bomb Strike from After the Line? I never saw the character when I was a kid. I didn't learn about her till I started going down this rabbit hole, right? But well, yeah, I mean, I agree. Triple C. That's why he's out there. Is, you know, you've got to put your Iron Grenadier teasers out there, and that's why he's there. I just, I couldn't do what Lenny did and go, yeah, good to go, boss. Metalhead's great. Yeah. Oh, okay. I won't show you a custom. Yeah, I know. So I'm just gonna put down the Ram Rats for a minute because one of them belongs to Bomb Strike. This is Joker's, who is my 60th anniversary soldier. But when it comes to vehicles, I'm a big thing on pairs, guys. I don't know if you picked up on it. I like having 2 of everything because to me, patrols, right? Mutual support, fire and movement, all that good stuff. So as many times as I try, if I can get 1 vehicle, I'd love to get 2. But I think 1 vamp's going to be enough. And some gridiron maybe. All right. So how do I want to, let's bring it down here. We'll do this again from down here and see if this works. So we got Bomb Strike on her. on her bike right now, and this is a very much. I'm glad Loki's in here, guys, because this is what Loki brought to the table for me as far as uh, soft good cap and head potential. Let me just raise the camera so that clock ain't in the way. And I hope that's a good enough view. I can't really see the chat right now, so I'm just going to talk about it, and then I'll get back to it. So as you can see, Bomb Strike, I gave her own ram because I picture her and Joker kind of their job is the forward area observer and controller that she's known for, calling in the fast air and artillery in the battlefield while the maneuver elements are fighting their way through. That's a mad ass skill, man. That's a lot of math. That's a lot of situational awareness, and that's a lot of intelligence coming at you a mile a minute to be able to react. So, Alyssa Stahl, I found out through doing my research. She's got two brothers. Oh, I got a little bit of paint wear on the shoulder. Let's cover that up really quick. She's got two brothers that are barrel roll, and I can't remember the other guy's name, but he went Cobra. He washed out of Joe training, didn't make it. But she's got two brothers. The Stahl family, very involved in Patriot kind of stuff from I get it. What made me laugh is yesterday when I was doing Don Marino, it was all about this lacrosse player that impressed somebody. Well, when it comes to Alyssa Stahl, Alyssa Renee Stahl or Ren Stahl, whatever you want to, however they pronounce that, and this is stuff I'm learning through JLS, by the way. She was a big soccer player. Oh, that's important too, right? So, yeah, so she's basically your forward area observer and controller. And yeah, I do have a little bit of paint wear. I haven't put a protector in on that yet. Shit, that sucks. At least you can't notice it that much right now, especially if I turn it to the side. But what I used for this figure, guys, this is a CoverGirl torso, a Scarlet Origins legs, or any Scarlet legs, really. They're all the same. And I used the Black Widow Yelena Belova holster set that I had from one of my Black Widows, Duke's belt, a piece of Loki Wartooth tack vest that was broken. It was the back piece of one that I had, it had broken on the side, and I clipped it to use the front for something else, and that's where the back went. And then a CoverGirl strap, one of Loki Wartooth's hats, one of Loki Wartooth's guns, one of Duke's guns, Lady J's arms, dat butt, and a Cobra weapon sling. Okay, I've gone over that, but this little bomb, I had it kicking around. And get it, Bomb Strike. I don't have a Spectre gunship to send you right now, or a drone, but we'll get there. But let's have a look at why I chose this head, guys. And we're going to keep that box nearby this time. I thought I had. Let me just find the box, guys. But here's why I chose that head, because it works well with the second layer. Good, right? And it is that Star Wars character, and I did bring down the box. I just have to find it because I got tired of saying I can't remember her name. So let me just get that box out. There, Marvel Legends. Here we are. And I kept saying I got it for $9, guys, because that's what I got it for, $9. But there it is. She's from the Andor series, I believe. Velsartha, and I bought her for that stupid AK-47 looking gun that ruined the series for Punk. But made it for me for conversion. I was like, that's a different Cobra gun. Let's get that with that wire stock. But the other part I liked about that was, here's another piece by Loki Wartooth. These are the new bump helmets he's working with. I think that's using that Warbler. And so I got a few different paints on there. Tried to keep that desert theme going, but getting that tech kind of to pop out a little bit. There's a lot of tech on these headphones, and Loki's print is brilliant. They've got the ear nub receiver that allows you to dial in filtered noise, no noise, open mic, all that stuff. The headset's very realistic. And the best part is, because it's that soft goods material, you're not going to break that with ease, and you can heat fit. But the nice thing about this Savama, or whatever her name is I don't need to heat fit. That head, because of the way her hairstyle was, just perfectly accommodates that. Now you find me another head in the Joe line that is that accommodating and looks that well. I think it's going to be Jinx. That's probably going to be about it. Sorry, get her back on camera. But what I really liked about her head was she had such a plain face. There was nothing trying to be anything with this face. It wasn't beautiful. It was pretty. It wasn't celebrity. It was common. And I liked that. I was like, yeah, man. Because just for fun, guys, I liked to get into the psychology of the character for a second, and I thought about what kind of soldier this would be, because I've worked with several females in the military, and some of them within my own trade, and some of them within recce. Like I've been out on in recce with females, and they're there's not they get a bum rap sometimes off the odd outlier who puts a bad name on the whole gender sometimes. But one of the things that you can't control if you're a female soldier is if you're attractive or not, especially if you're a little top heavy, if you know what I'm saying. You're not really in control of that. And so imagine going to work and you work with a ton of people and they all can tell you got a huge package, right? And you have to spend every day with some of them being nicer than they seem they ever should be to you, and it's because you got a huge package, right? And there's nothing you can do about that huge package. It just is what it is. You can try and cover up your huge package, but word of mouth has gone around. What do you think of that huge package? Oh yeah, I totally get that huge package, they say. And so that's kind of the atmosphere a lot of women work with in the environment. Nothing ever gets said, but there's not much they can do. So I did something. I gave you a new reason to look at CoverGirl's chest. I painted on that Joe stripe and star on there and the tack vest, but I said, you know what? It's still CoverGirl. Baruga! And I put on a Joe logo on her breast, and then the name tag says stall. And I highlighted the cleavage, bitches, because it's still a CoverGirl torso, and what a waste that would be not to use that. But yeah, that vest piece just slips right in there, guys. All right, so that's Bomb Strike. Loki Wartooth also provided me this beautiful pistol, and this is why I said I got into the psychology. I'm going to keep the vest off for a second. That is the yellow Joe logo. I tried freehanding on there, but I never got around to doing the star on it because it's just so tiny. And guys, I realized more than half of my demographic is US, my subs group. I don't want to do anything wrong to your flag or anything that represents it. So I just omit it if I can't do it, rather that than insult it. But the pearl handle pistol that you see in her holster, I painted up with great care and love because Loki Wartooth sent it. So I used pearl paint, metallic pearl paint, and some silver and some wash and some resilvering, and then put it in that very special holster. And the reason I gave her a pearl handled holster is I thought about the things because I never read the comics. I just knew what JLS had told us and then listening to his reviews. But I had to think, well, was her dad in the military? Right? Was her dad a proud service member? Was this a legacy family of the Stalls passing on the buck? You go be a Joe. Well, I failed being a Joe, pal. I'll be a Cobra. And then young Allison, she's like, I'm going to go fight the battle on a scale none of these motherfuckers have ever tried before and hit them with like everything. I am God's wrath on the battlefield, she says. And her dad passed on that pearl handle pistol, just like she gave the boys, or he gave the boys, and she get one. Or maybe she's the only one who get one, right? Who knows? I don't know, guys. But I find when I'm doing a conversion every now and then, like as tempting as it is to get carried away with a lot of stuff, the big challenge I had with Bomb Strike is I still didn't want to do an end state bomb strike. I didn't want to do a Night Force bomb strike or a Tiger Force bomb strike or anything like that. I wanted to do an updated bomb strike that I think something that Lenny and the team would put together, more or less. And when I looked at the old pictures, she had the GI Joe logo everywhere. She was a patriot, right? So that's why I wanted it on the shirt, and I wanted to try the vest because I love bundled mag pouches on people. And they got the bundled mag pouches, I know they're there to fight the day out, right? You've got enough ammo to get through the day. Good. Let's go, right? You're coming on my patrol. We're going now. But most of these Joes are not loaded out. So I liked having that. So I decided to try out that vest. But I looked at that action figure that they have back from the Valor versus Venom line and the way that she's been depicted in comics, guys. And where's her? That's why I had to do it that way, right? So this is more of a tribute to my effort at trying to do a modernized bomb strike, guys. So that's it for that. I'm looking at the time, guys. It's getting on that time where I got to get ready to go pick up my boy from cadets and tell him I'm proud of him for his child soldiering and his drill and all that. But I'll put them up on here. I wanted to just like say, like, guys, I really appreciate everything you guys have done for the channel, showing up for the chats. When all of a sudden I just decide to do one. We are going to do one on Wednesday night, me and the Backyard Boys, over at 3-Star Draws channel. Thanks very much, you guys, for having my back tonight in the chat, by the way. And you know, the 3-Stars got some stuff lined up, and at some point by Thursday we will have the announced winner of the 350 contest, and I will be getting to work on a conversion for you. But I just wanted to say thank you very much, guys, and I appreciated all you guys showing up. Let me just quickly get in the chat and just say goodnight, and I'll take it from right here, where Loki tells me I'm going to lay with a camel in Sandhill. Yep. And then we go, you guys are reading, that's cool. She needs ass, less chaos. Yeah, she needs more ass. And gone so tempting. Now I know what the natives are going through. Yeah. And guys are making contact out there. That's the big thing. One of the big things I did want to address, and I addressed it early if you joined the late. Hey, Jay Astro, like I said, what's that? If I could custom my figures like her, I'd never leave that as Kleenex and hand lotion. And thanks, guys. Yeah, no, I was talking about Punk's stream the other night and what he did for this new group of channels and all of us out here, and we're very appreciative. Guys, one thing I noticed is even right now I'm at 350 plus subscribers, and that, like I said, seems like a lot to maybe some of you, and it seems like very little to a lot when I see the guys that I'm trying to follow suit with and that I want to go kind of walk the walk with at some point, right? But I'm just telling you right now, if you're just getting your channel started, that perspective never goes away. Like, it really doesn't. I actually have more subscribers than some of the guys that I was actually following. Going, I want to follow what they do successfully. I looked, I was like, I have more subscribers than them. And what that told me was I'm still seeing the game wrong. I really am. I'm seeing it all wrong. It's one of those things where I think the secret with YouTube channels is look how long the guy's been doing it and tell yourself, is that first impression really what he's about, or do you see some depth in there? And I think what Punk sees and what Aaron sees and what 3-Star and all of us see, and a lot of the guys showing up the chat is, my God, there is so much depth here. You can swim forever and never touch the bottom. We know those first few videos, they rattle. They do a lot of things. Look at my videos, man. They still rattle. They do a lot of things. But when you get comfortable in front of the camera, getting comfortable in front of your subscribers, that's your game. Play it. Play it the way you want. You're going to win as long as you do it the way you want. And don't worry about who's noticing, because eventually that algorithm stops getting in the way as time goes on and you get more involved in your community. But sometimes you're going to have to go open the door yourself. That's the bottom line. Introduce yourself to someone. Ask their advice. Hey, that's all. Hey, guys, thanks very much. I'm going to end it right there because I got to get over there, pick up the boy, like I said, because most of the times I try to be a good dad. And my kid shouldn't walk home in the dark. All right. Love you guys. You guys are amazing. Go find another live stream. I'll chase you down. If somebody finds one tonight that I need to know about, and you have the ability to text me, you do so. And I will see you guys soon with another conversion and another fig review. I still owe Aaron and Jay that Snow Serpent review, and I'm trying to do something special for that. But this one was my warm-up for May 6th, I think it is, or I'd have to check, May 6th or something. I'm going live on the Power of the Force to do a review of a Power of Force action figure. And I fucked up and I asked Punk a certain way, and now I'm being held feet to the fire to bring you a certain type of video done the Crow way. And it's going to have to happen right before Punk's live. That must be what it felt like when you guys would open for the Rolling Stones or the Beatles. Be like, oh, I'm going to play my song. Who's on after me? The Beatles. Oh, fuck. Right. So anyways, guys, I will check you guys later. Kick the tires and light the fires. Good one, Triple C. See ya, boys.